Hello, good morning and welcome to the United Stand is Transfer Daily Live. Sorry, it's not at 7 AM, but we've put it back because the Manchester United live fixtures are out. They'll be out in about 7 or 8 minutes time, I think, but I can't officially tell you, but what I can tell you is that we've had a little bit of information as to what our first 5 fixtures may be. So let's just see if it is this. West Ham at home, Swansea away, Leicester at home, Stoke away, Everton at home. So 15-point start there. West Ham at home, Swansea away, Leicester at home, Stoke away, Everton at home. And we finish with Brighton away and Watford at home. So that's not official. I can't tell you whether that's definitely the truth, but that's what we've sort of been told. And we'll have the official one for you in about 7 minutes time. So potentially West Ham at home, Swansea away, and then was it Leicester at home, first 3 games of the season. But we'll see. I want to talk about transfer stuff because I think that's going to be very important, far more important to you than fixtures that aren't for a couple of months. I get that it's exciting for the first couple of hours of the day, and then it becomes Victor Lindelof Day, and apparently maybe even Alvaro Morata Day. So lots and lots to talk about. I want to talk about James Rodriguez first because a lot of you will not be aware of this, but apparently the James Rodriguez to Manchester United deal is back on. He's desperate to join Manchester United. Manchester United apparently want to sign him now. The stumbling block, this will upset you, the stumbling block is potentially Wayne Rooney. James Rodriguez wants the number 10 shirt. Manchester United wanted to give him the number 10 shirt. Adidas want him to have the number 10 shirt. But Wayne Rooney may want to stay at Manchester United and see out his contract. I mean, that I can see the storm clouds in the air from the United fans all over the world about that, because I think every Manchester United fan, even the big Wayne Rooney fans, would say that, look, he's on the decline. 2, he's on a lot of money. And 3, he's not really a Manchester United first team player anymore. And 4, if he's the reason that we can't sign players because he's holding on to that number 10 shirt, it's an absolute joke. I hope it's not true. I really think Rooney's got to move on for many reasons, for his own, even if I'm just thinking about Mr. Wayne Rooney, you need to move on, Wayne, because you're not going to get much time at United. Go on and have a new challenge. And James Rodriguez, I know a lot of you would like him. Wonderful left foot. Let's see what happens. He's definitely going to move. I'm still not convinced he'll end up in a Manchester United shirt, but he will definitely move this summer. And if he does come to Manchester United, if you watched the show I did last night, maybe go and watch it back after this, where we were looking at potential lineups and formations for Manchester United. I think the one constant we had when we were all discussing last night is that lineup that we have, based on the signings we think Mourinho is going to make, it's very clear that we lack that je ne sais quoi, that little bit of spark. It looks a very workmanlike and very good side, but it lacks that spark, and maybe Rodriguez could give us that. Or maybe Gareth Bale could give it. After last night's game, France, Pogba absolutely amazing. A glimpse of what Pogba can do if you set him free. We've been on about this for a long, long time. Paul Pogba, when he's set free as a midfielder, is one of the best in the world. When he's got to bother with defensive duties, he becomes very restricted, and we saw that last season. Mourinho's got to get the right midfield around Pogba so that we can see Pogba from last night. But I must just say, they were playing a bunch of farmers last night, France, so it's hard to judge how good people were. They were playing England, but England are shocking. From that game very quickly, Mbappe. United want to sign Mbappe. But who doesn't want to? It's not even breaking news. Manchester United want to sign Kylian Mbappe. So does every club in the world. He apparently will stay at Monaco, will go to Real Madrid. But I think Manchester United will do everything they can to try and sign him. So it wouldn't surprise me if we got him. Ousmane Dembele, we spoke about him, was it on a transfer show a couple of weeks ago? What a player he is. He's absolutely amazing. And I said 2 weeks ago, and I don't want a pat on the back for this, I said 2 weeks ago, he will be, when Ronaldo and Messi retire, he'll be in the top 2 or 3 in world football. I guarantee he'll go to Barcelona. I guarantee it. I bet Verratti will go to Barcelona. And it annoys me slightly that United, we're looking this summer, and I know why Mourinho's doing it. He wants players that are hard working, because that's what Mourinho's all about. But we've got the money and the resources to be buying these sort of players, to be buying these players that get you off your seats. I mean, we saw last night with Pogba, he can do it, but he didn't do it a lot for Manchester United last year because Mourinho restricted him. What we want to see at Manchester United is a couple of players that are really going to get us off the edge of our seat, and I don't know whether we're going to see that this summer. Doesn't mean we're not going to win the league, by the way, and I'm not dissing what Mourinho does, because I still think he's the best manager, but I'd like to see us go and make a statement like that. Let's get Dembele or Verratti. Let's go and get a really top player that Barcelona want. You know, with Pogba was great signing, but we can do it. We're back in the Champions League. We've got the money. Let's go and do it. But Dembele, yeah, I mean, 79 million I think his release clause is, and we're looking to pay 44 for Perisic, who I think will be a good signing, but it's not necessarily the one that I would want. I want to talk about Fabinho. Let me talk Chris Smalling, because then we'll get the fixtures. The fixtures are going to be like 2 minutes. Shari Kara says De Gea will go to Madrid if both James and Morata leave. Yeah, but that's probably the most greatest comment you've ever made. It actually does make sense. But let me talk to you about Chris Smalling for a moment. I think Chris Smalling will end up leaving Manchester United. This keeps building and building, and I think it will happen. I don't think that... Well, we've signed Lindelof. Victor Lindelof will sign officially today. So I think that will definitely happen. And I think Smalling going, to be honest with you, I would get... One of them's got to go, so that's a fact. Some would argue with two needing to go. But I would get rid of Jones over Smalling. I still think that Smalling has the better talent. He's certainly better in the air, and he's got a better injury record. So if I'm looking about... And this is a backup centre-back, by the way. We're not talking about playing week in, week out. My concern about Phil Jones is just... You know what? It's a bit like night and day. He will be injured. And what... Let's say next season Lindelof pulls his hamstring, he's out for 6 weeks, and we're top of the league, and Bailly does his knee, and then you've got to bring in your backup centre-backs, and it's Phil Jones. And even if he plays well for 2 of those games, he then does his hamstring, and we'll be going, why didn't we get rid of Phil Jones and keep Chris Smalling? Because yeah, you know, Chris Smalling's got his problems, but he's not as injury prone as Phil Jones. So that's my problem around Phil Jones, if I'm totally honest with you. And Philo Estefanos agrees with me. Remember to like the video. Remember to share the video. We are going to be live with you a little bit longer this morning because we've got the Premier League fixtures coming in for you any second. We're predicting it's West Ham home first, Swansea away, followed by Leicester at home. That's the leak we had right at the start of the show. So let's see if that's going to be correct. It will be out for you any second now. It should be out, in fact. Let's have a look. I also want to talk to you about Eric Dyer and Fabinho. Alvaro Morata, I would expect that to be today, if not today, tomorrow. And Lindelof will definitely be today. But Morata's getting married on Friday, so that needs to happen sooner rather than later for him. And let's have a look here. I'm just waiting for official. I don't like to get it wrong, if I'm totally honest with you. So I want to make sure we get this right. Manchester City derby dates are apparently Old Trafford on December the 9th and the Etihad April the 7th. It's always April, isn't it? Always April for the Etihad game. There seems to be a little bit of a delay, so I'll start talking about Fabinho. So yeah, yesterday it was broken that Fabinho is not coming to Manchester United because we want Eric Dyer and or Matic. And I think a lot of people were like, well, we're looking at the game last night. There's no way that Mourinho will want Dyer over Fabinho now because Eric Dyer was Dyer. Pogba sent him back to nursery school. He was awful. But the problem is, and what I would say, is that Mourinho gave his list, and he's been very adamant about this, he gave his list to Woodward back in March, maybe even April. So he's not going to change his list based on what happened in a game last night. So here we go. Chelsea have got Burnley on the first game of the season. Don't care about them. And newly promoted Newcastle host Tottenham. What do we got? Manchester United don't face any Champions League qualifier until Liverpool on the weekend of October the 14th. So it's a favourable start for us that we don't play any of the top teams until the 14th of October. And the BBC have really let us down here. They're on about Chelsea. And let me have a look. I've got it now. Oh, this is really poor. Really, really poor. You lot will be getting it quicker than me. Oh, you know what? Don't use the BBC anymore. They're absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. Here we go. Yeah, so it was right. It was right. We were right. We were right 10 minutes early then. We were right 10 minutes early. So we've got West Ham at home, Swansea away, Leicester at home, Stoke away, Everton at home. We said that at 10 to 9, so we were right then. Last two games of the season are, as we said. So after Everton, you've got Southampton away, Palace at home. Liverpool is our first, top 6 fixture. That's the middle of October. We've got Tottenham at the end of October at home. Our first tough away fixture on paper is Chelsea away on November the 4th. Arsenal away on December the 2nd. Man City at home on December the 9th. Christmas, nice easy fixture on Boxing Day. Burnley at home and Southampton at home the day before New Year's Eve. Everton away on New Year's Day. Yeah, I think I'm a bit meh about that, to be honest. I'm a bit meh about Premier League fixtures, but it's a good. I think that just adds a little bit of a smile on my face because it's a nice, comfortable start to the season for us. West Ham at home, Swansea away, and Leicester at home. I'm not saying we're going to win all 3, but you could have, you could have a lot tougher fixtures than that, and it's a nice start for United. Mukand Harry has made a contribution. He said, Mark, I saw last video with formation. What is lacking in the lineup is a true leader like Rooney. Also, pace is lacking. I'd be happy if we got Bale. We need to get the free kicks too. Mukand, thanks for the contribution. I don't know what you're on about that we're missing a true leader like Wayne Rooney. I've not seen Wayne Rooney lead Manchester United on the pitch for many years. That is one thing I would argue about Rooney. I just think he's an awful, awful captain. But back to what I was talking about. Fixtures are out. We've discussed that. The Fabinho midfield thing. So Mourinho gave his list to Woodward in April. So he's not going to change his mind on a friendly that happened last night, unfortunately. What I would think and what my hope is that because Manchester United, he gave his list to Woodward in around April, March time, because he did that, then hopefully Manchester United were not playing that well then. So hopefully he didn't look and think, what we're really missing is Eric Dyer or Matic in our midfield. I can't see why that would be the case. So hopefully this talk of Dyer and Matic is false, because I look at Eric Dyer last night and he's just not. That performance is, and I thought it before, he's just not a Manchester United midfielder. It's just, why are we signing players like that to play centre defensive midfielders for us? They're very workmanlike and, yeah, efficient, but we're Manchester United. I don't want workmanlike. You look at our centre defensive midfielders that we've had over the years. We've had Michael Carrick with the passing range between 5 and 50 yards, absolutely perfect. Positional sense, brilliant. We've had people like Scholes and Keane playing in our midfield who are just, brilliant. We want to play Eric Dyer in there. I mean, Jesus, his passing range is awful. Yes, he can make a tackle. He's got no football brain, and Matic is a declining Fellaini. I don't understand what. We're not going to be on the edge of our seats with that sort of player, but it doesn't have to be Fabinho. But the reason people are getting excited about Fabinho is because he is quick, he is good at breaking the play, he is positionally good, and he's good on the ball. That's what United want in that position. We don't want just a bloody robot stood there, tackle. We want somebody with a bit of flair about them who can do the tackling job, but also, kickstart. If there's nothing ahead of them, they can run with the ball as well. So I'd find it it gets me going a little bit. I'd find it as a very uninspiring signing if we really are going after Eric Dyer. And let's not forget, he plays for Spurs, who finished above us, and it's the same for Chelsea as well. And he's English. We're going to pay. He'll probably cost about £50 million. He's not worth 25. So I don't want us to get him. And as I said last night about Matic, the big thing as well is that this is Spurs and Chelsea's cast-offs. We're Manchester United. If Chelsea and Spurs sell us Matic or Dyer, it's because they don't want them anymore. So why do we want them? Because the fans don't bloody want them. It is about, you've got to back Mourinho. I totally agree with that. But they are uninspiring signings, and I don't believe we're in for them. I don't believe we're in for them. So I'm not being critical of Mourinho. I don't believe that we're in for them. And if we sign them, then we can revisit it. But I don't believe that we're in for them. And I will not accept it. Chris says that's what you're going to get, Dyer. Well, I hope not. So, obviously, we spoke about... there's a lot of people who think that Fabinho is still going to happen, by the way. Apparently, I've made a mistake. Yeah, I've seen what you've done. I've put 2017-17 seasons. Oh dear. Mark, what are your thoughts about Pep Guardiola? I don't have any about him. He's a checkbook manager now. Rooney's finished. Premier League, Liverpool v Manchester United is on October the 14th. Yeah, I've said that. Why would Mourinho be mad about the fixtures? Says Tekka FIFA. Oh, I know what that's all about. Yeah, apologies about that. Mark, what do you think of Jorginho from Napoli as a centre defensive midfielder? Says Alan Gerber. Yeah, I think a couple of years ago I would have quite liked him, Alan. He's still very good. I think he's about 24, 25 now. He'd be better than Eric Dyer, let's be honest. Nicholas Anderson's made a contribution. He says, I can't be arsed with waiting on transfers this summer. It's getting to me already. Wake me up when it's August. Well, we've got a favourable start to the season if anyone's joining us a little bit later. West Ham at home, Swansea away, Everton at home. Leicester at home first game, and then I think we've got Stoke away and Everton at home. So it's a favourable start. Mika Simic says, Lindelof and Morata will be a great start to our transfers. Matic and Dyer equals boring, dull signings. Need a little more star power in the team to complement hard-working players like Herrera and Valencia. I don't think Matic or Dyer in a midfield three with Herrera and Pogba complements them at all. I think you've got to get somebody, whether it's Nainggolan, Matuidi, Fabinho, which is what somebody we all want. There's lots of options out there. We don't need to be going down market for cast-offs from clubs that we want to be better than next season. So we talked about James Rodriguez. I still don't think that's going to happen, but it won't disappear. Alvaro Morata will be today or tomorrow. Lindelof will be official today. Belotti, I think, is gone. I don't think that's happening anymore. He's getting married tomorrow, and I think that was probably just paper talk at the weekend as a backup for Morata, which is a shame because if you saw the show last night, I showed how Manchester United could play with two strikers, and that formation really excited me. If you didn't see that, watch the video from last night. The Perisic thing is rumbling on. I think that, to be honest with you, I'll be surprised if we haven't signed Lindelof, Perisic and Morata by the weekend. I think those three are, pretty much nailed on. And with the international football all finished now, all the fixtures we finished last night certainly for the European teams, I think that they'll move on quite quickly. Real Madrid apparently are trying to make money to get Mbappe, which will then release Bale, and Bale will then be choosing between Manchester United and PSG. That's tabloid headline. I mean, believe it or not. I do feel that the United team that I look at, and I've put it up for you here. I don't know why I'm talking about it. So that team, this would be my team if you missed it last night. This is my team based on the signings that we think Mourinho will sign or is linked to signing. This would be my lineup for next season. De Gea in goal, Bailly, Lindelof, Blind, back three until Rojo's fit, and then Rojo takes Blind's spot. Perisic and Valencia as wing backs. They're quite far back there at the moment, but it wouldn't be a defensive lineup. It would be Valencia and Perisic would be virtually level with Matic and Herrera. Midfield three, Herrera, Pogba, and whichever donkey he signs, Matic or Dyer. And then you've got Morata and Rashford up front, or Morata and Belotti if we signed him, and that is pretty much how I would be looking to play it next season, because it's a very attacking lineup. I know it looks quite defensive there, but it's a very attacking lineup because Bailly, Lindelof and Blind would effectively be a back four as a three. You've got Herrera and whoever we sign as a midfield two, Valencia and Perisic as your width, Pogba with the freedom, or you could drop Pogba to where Matic Dyer is and bring Mata or Mkhitaryan or Pereira in there. And then you've got Morata, Rashford, Morata, Martial, Morata, Belotti, loads and loads of options up front. And that's how I would be looking to do it next season. But when I look at that lineup, the point of putting it up, when I look at that lineup, it still to me feels like it's missing a star. And you know what I mean by a star, even a Rodriguez, a Bale or something like that. It just feels like we are. And if you don't like that formation, there's the standard 4-3-3, how it could work. Again, back four, midfield 3, Perisic on the left, Mkhitaryan on the right, Morata at front. And again, it just feels like it's missing a star. Maybe we're being a bit optimistic, but it does feel like we are missing a star player, and I'm hoping that we will bring one in, because I think we do need one. Professor Fatcakes, is Mourinho going to adapt to the Conte formation? Well, the Conte formation is slightly different to that, really. His is more of a 3-4-3 that then becomes like a... it worked very effectively last season, to be honest. Whether he'll be able to do it, that I don't know. Tahar Darat's made a contribution. He says, Mark, how many English players do we need to have in Manchester United? And I really enjoy this show. I'd like us to have a few more English players at Manchester United, if I'm honest. But, you know, I look at a team like Everton and what they're doing. Absolutely great what they're doing with their bringing through the youth and everything like that. The thing with Manchester United at the moment is that we just don't have a load of youth to put in the team. We've got Rashford, Fosu Mensah, Twansibi, hopefully Pereira. They're not far off, and there are a few coming through. But you've got to be good enough to play for Manchester United, and I do stand like that. Champan Herb says we need a star player. I think we do. We've got a massive summer to come. I'd love us to go and sign Dembele. I agree. I'd love us to sign Mbappe, Bale. Looking at that lineup I just showed you there, I don't know how anybody could say I don't want Gareth Bale, because we're crying out for a star player, injury record or not. We're crying out for a star player. But we've got to get... I think the one thing I would say is that we started the show about James Rodriguez coming to United, and a stumbling block maybe being that Rooney refuses to leave and vacate the number 10 shirt, which Adidas would want Rodriguez to have, and I think United fans would want him to have. The biggest thing Manchester United need to do, and it will be very big if it happens, is get rid of Wayne Rooney. And that sounds really horrible, but it's best for Rooney to go. You're not going to be playing for Manchester United next season if you stay. You're just going to be a wage thief, sat on the bench, earning 300 grand a week, and surely you want to do better than that. Your career's way better than that. So it's best for Wayne Rooney. It's certainly best for Manchester United, because he's just not the player that we want him to be, and you have to move on when that happens. We've done it loads of times in our past. When players have declined, you move them on. That's what Manchester United's an entity of its own. We don't own any loyalty to any manager, to any player. It must evolve. So getting rid of Rooney is important, because once we get rid of Rooney, it gives you that gap, it gives you that 10, it gives you that wage, it gives you that status that somebody can come in. So I think that has got to happen sooner rather than later. But as far as I know, Wayne is in Greece, sunning it up, which, as is his right. You know, that's what most footballers are doing. We need to get that done sooner rather than later. Thanks everybody for watching. It's been nice to go live this morning. A little bit later, 7 AM show was put back till 9 AM so we could encompass the fixtures. We were live 10 minutes before the fixtures, and the information we got was right. So you did get it right at the start of the show, which was great. And we've covered everything we wanted to do on the transfer show. Be back tonight at 8:30. I'm thinking of doing a Skype show tonight at 8:30. However, I think there will be a video going up at some point today, because Lindelof will be released officially as a Manchester United player, and maybe Alvaro Morata, so it might be a busy day for us today. Remember to drop a like on the video. The likes on this video are terribly low, considering there's nearly 2,000 of you watching. There's only 200 likes. So remember to drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. And I'll be back at 8:30 tonight with the Skype show, where you can all Skype in. But I suspect I will be back before that. So enjoy the day. It's very sunny here in the UK. I'm going to get out and do a bit of garden cutting and things like that, and keep my eye on what's going on with United. But thanks everyone for watching. Nice day off for me today. So enjoy it. Enjoy whatever you're doing. And I'll speak to you all later. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the comments. Really enjoyed it.